morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Good morning. And how do you do? Yes, Edwina B. Miss Cuckoo for Cocoa Pops, inviting you to my morning conversation. Free to hope. From recovery, emerge empowered. In other words, we want to be able to be set free from recovery, emerge empowered only to give hope to others, help others prosper equally. But the only way that we can do that, if our God, our Creator, chose us to wake up this morning, and obviously He did. He chose you, He chose me, particularly if you're watching now or later. And for that, I want to give Him the honor, the praise, the glory, the hallelujah, the worship, and most importantly, the acknowledgement, okay? And so listen, as y'all can see, I'm in my office early this morning because we have some things going on here at Divine Light in Wilmington, Delaware. And if you are in need of inpatient or outpatient services within a outpatient modality, meaning you are not inboxed in a facility, you are part of a inpatient program using transitional housing in order to stay put and for us to provide you treatment along with housing. Okay, so we have intensive outpatient services as well as outpatient services for youth 18 and above and for adults. Okay, so give us a call at 302-468-4530 or visit us at www.divine, DIVINE hyphen light, LIGHT.net. I will bring you information about that as we continue to be blessed this morning. Okay, so how was your weekend? Was it good? All right. And so my weekend was fantastic. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. I got to enjoy my grandchildren. I got to enjoy my home, and I got to enjoy church, and I got to enjoy me and my meditation and prayer and quiet time with the God of my understanding. Okay. And so, what about you? How was your weekend? All right. So, let's begin because I don't know how long I will be on this morning, but I do want to share with you for those who are now watching. I just completed, and Don is going to kill me, but I'm hoping Alicia Clark has not left for Africa yet, right? Because I'm just completing the fact sheet that we need to solicit funds to bring Don Thomas, his wife, and their daughter Legacy to relocate from Atlanta, Georgia, here to Delaware. And so we will be soliciting sponsorship, we will be soliciting support, and definitely your prayers so that we can continue the legacy of Dr. Benjamin Twinby Brown and the relaunch of CCC, Community Communications Corporation. All right. So, with that being said, we are looking forward to Don and his wife and his daughter to come here next week. But we do need help with getting them here, along with the transportation of all the equipment that he has collected from California, Las Vegas, and Atlanta. I'm telling you, the boy is on the move with the he empowerment and she empowerment created by his wife, Lyric Thomas, right? And so we are so excited that we will be partnering and working with Ivan Thomas and Dennis at DETV, along with Tim Qualls of Positive Promotions and James Turner of his marketing and PR establishment out of Chester. But you will also know him by being the marketing person for Reach Gospel Radio. All right. And so we're looking forward to the excitement that CCC will be coming to your screen very, very soon. And if you go to YouTube and type in Community Communications Corporation, you will see the latest relaunch episode created by myself, Rochelle Wilson, and Lyric Thomas, produced, edited by no other than Don Thomas himself. Okay. We want to thank the existing board for helping us. We are looking forward to electing new officials. We want to thank Maria Cabrera for her leadership and all of the others, Bishop Greer Ward, and many others. So stay tuned. We'll be coming forth with you with the relaunch of CCC, Community Communications Corporation. All right. And so what I also want to share with you, right, is our reading for today, because again, many of you know I go to my 12-step meeting every morning from 7:30 to 8:30. And because I am inviting and meeting our newest clinical director for Divine Light, Mr. Keith Pettiford. All right, many of you know him from the community, but he is joining us as our part-time clinical supervisors. So kudos to Keith Pettiford, and he will be joining me sometime this morning, which is why I'm in here early to set up his desk, his room, and look forward to the continued changes that he will help us to bring here at Divine Light. Yes, we also have relaunched Divine Light, as a matter of fact, with new leadership, myself as the program director and the regional director, Cecilia Velasquez, all right? Under the leadership of the CEO, Sakina Dean, and COO, Sakina Dean Johnson, and her husband, who was the COO, Dwight Johnson, okay? And so I just wanted to share that little bit with you. So let's get to our reading for today. Many of you know that in the month of October, we are focusing on the 10th step of the Alcoholics Anonymous program, which is spiritual in nature within a spiritual fellowship. And we also know that the 12 spiritual principles, which I have been using for over 34 plus years, has contributed to me having an unlimited amount of spiritual experiences that activate spiritual awakenings and, right, produces an unlimited amount of spiritual breakthroughs. And as a result of my God, who I now know, who I didn't know 34 plus years ago, underneath that parked car, where I cried out to whoever they say you are, take me out this life or show me a better way. The student became ready. The teacher appeared, but because he decided, my creator, to keep me here, he put me on a spiritual path so the spiritual student can become ready, and the unlimited amount of spiritual teachers will continuously appear. And so for that, I give him the honor, the glory, the hallelujah, and thank him for my greatest possession, which is my past. Before I got into Alcoholics Anonymous, my latest past with 34 plus years in the Fellowship of Alcoholics Anonymous, are spiritual in nature, and that which I am creating now to be my past, because this day will never, ever, ever come again. And so the 10th step says, continue to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, we promptly admit it. And so many of you need to go to aa.org to learn more about Alcoholics Anonymous and how they were able to sustain the spiritual program for close to 90 plus years after learning from the two previous movements of the Washingtonians and the Oxford group. So thank you, Dr. Carl Jung, for letting Roland know, who let Bill and Bob know, and the others, that people with our disease of alcoholism need a psychic change. We need divine intervention. We need divine providence. And so the concept of a spiritual program within a spiritual fellowship was established in 1935 on June the 10th. And guess what? They must have reserved a seat for me because I've been here 34 plus years. So I'm excited about learning, implementing, and practicing the 12 spiritual principles, tools, and resources that will allow me to deal with any and everything, including you, on this earthly journey called life. To God be all the glory. Y'all need to know I am living my heaven here on earth. Okay, let's get to the reading today. Now, you see the title, right? Nothing grows in the dark. Okay, so now, if nothing grows in the dark, let me ask you, what does that mean to you? You heard the saying, right? What's done in the dark always comes in the light, okay? And so nothing grows in the dark. And so when Alcoholics Anonymous put their daily reflections reading into publication, and many of our co-founders and people of Alcoholics Anonymous contributed their perspective on the different quotes that we use daily for the purpose of helping us to stay sober and helping another alcoholic achieve sobriety. But for me, it's all about the psychic change and becoming that new creature and not wanting to go back to the old me. I don't want to get back with that. I want to get with this. Okay. So let's see what the reading talks about when it says nothing grows in the dark. Okay. This is October the 21st, 2024. And it comes from the A.A. Daily Reflections. Nothing grows in the dark. And our co-founder takes a quote from his book off of page 10 as Bill sees it and states, "We will want the good that is in us all, even in the worst of us, to flower and to grow." The person in recovery shares his experience, strength, and hope by stating, "With the self-discipline," and hold on, y'all. Let me see how much time I got. Okay. "With the self-discipline and insight gained from practicing step 10, I began to know the gratification of sobriety, not as mere abstinence from alcohol, but as recovery in every department of my life." Now, let me be proactive, right? And let me get this charger out because I don't want nothing to interfere with what I have to do right now. Okay. And so let me make sure that we are plugged in. Now, Instagram, y'all hold on for a second while I plug this in. Right. Okay. So now that I'm plugged in, I can continue to share my experience, my strength, and my hope as we, hold on, Instagram, as we continue to share our experience, strength, and hope along with these individuals. And so, let me see. He said I think we have enough time. Yeah, we have enough time because it's making it very difficult to show on that. All right, so let's start again. The co-founder, Bill W., states, "We will want the good that is in us all, even in the worst of us, to flower and to grow." The person in recovery shares his experience, strength, and hope by saying, "With the self-discipline and insight gained from practicing step 10, I began to know the gratification of sobriety, not as mere abstinence from alcohol, but as recovery in every department of my life. I renew hope, regenerate faith, and regain the dignity of self-respect. I discovered the word and in the phrase, and when we were wrong, promptly admit it. And he says, reassured that I am no longer always wrong, I learned to accept myself as I am with a new sense of miracles of sobriety and serenity. Oh, my. Are y'all ready to dissect that baby, huh? You ready? Okay. So step 10, continue to take personal inventory. And when we were wrong, promptly admitted it, right? And so, we have been talking about monitoring our thoughts, actions, right? Our feelings, taking a daily inventory of how we reacted and responded to certain situations. We even shared how the same situation can be brought about, and we have a different outcome, and it's based on our spiritual condition. We talked about, as a result of doing step 4, where we identified some of our character defects as well as our assets, and we were able to get to the exact nature of our character defects in step 5. And we presented ourselves like an onion, yeah, laid with all kinds of stuff in step 6, and became entirely ready to have God remove all of them. And then when we fell short in our progressive and making progress in recovery, we asked our God to remove our shortcomings. And steps 8 and 9 is where we identified those individuals who we had harmed, starting with ourselves, and became willing to make amends to them all. Now, steps 10, 11, and 12 are our present steps. So we want to continue to take personal inventory throughout the day of our thoughts, actions, our feelings, our reactions, our responses, right? We can do a spot check inventory, a middle of the day inventory, and we can do an end of the night inventory. And it says, when we are disturbed in any way, shape, form, or fashion, it's an indication that there's something wrong with us spiritually. Okay? And so I thank God that I found out that there's nothing wrong with me, but that there was plenty that happened to me, right? But in the 10th step, I also need to acknowledge how life on life terms can knock me off my square, make me go left when I know I need to go right, bring me out of my character, the whole 9 yards. And thank God for these spiritual principles, tools, and resources. I have a remedy, and they are the spiritual principles, tools, and resources given to me by this awesome spiritual program within a spiritual fellowship. Okay. And so when we talk about step 10, we focus more on the first part, but now we're going to focus more on the second part, where it says we will, right? Here it is, right? Let me hide this, okay? We will want, right, the good that is in us all. We would want the good that is in us all, even in the worst of us, to flower and to grow. Now, that is a tall order, but guess what? We want, right? The good that is in us all. Our Creator manifested us. He has all the spirits. He knows who, what, when, and where. And so there is nothing bad that God can create. However, living in a sinful world with a sinful nature, we have been steered the wrong way. And I believe, and I know for a fact, that life's journey purpose is to gear us back to the loving arms of our Creator, but also to recognize that He is our Creator, and we are not the creators of ourselves or each other. And so, in my journey from drug addiction, alcoholism, prostitution, and the whole 9 yards, way before I picked up a drink or a drug, I had those attitudes, ideas, and behaviors that were formulated way back when. Okay. And so we will want, as a result of being in this fellowship that's spiritual in nature, we will want the good that is in all of us, even the worst first of us to flower and to grow. That's what we call unconditional love. Our Creator wants that for each and every one of His creations. However, right, when it is necessary for us to go through in order to get through, to come through, and we have that one and only knee bowing experience, we will then realize who we are and whose we are because we cannot help ourselves. No, 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 no. When I cried out, whoever they say you are, take me out this life or show me a better way, from underneath that parked car, He placed me on a pathway to spiritual growth, development, and wisdom so that I can participate along with Him to accomplish my God-given destiny, to live in my God-given purpose, and to work on my God-given calling, which I know I am doing beyond a shadow of a doubt. Okay? And so we would want the good in all of us, even the worst, to flower and to grow. Okay? Now, he goes on to say, right, let's break it down, right? The person who reacts with his perspective says, with the self-discipline and insight gained from practicing step 10, let's stop there. With the discipline and insight gained from practicing step 10. Now, you see the words, right? With the self-discipline. I've been going to my meetings every day. Wait a minute, it's getting hot in here. Y'all know me, I listen. Listen, I got to turn on this air. Right. With everything that I've learned throughout my years, right? And so I know, and have found out that self-discipline, we were taught, discipline, as the Louise family talked about, being domesticated and having people tell us what to think, show us what to think, show us how to act, the whole 9 yards, only to find out it has been a big lie. However, that's the purpose of living on this sinful world with this sinful nature, that we have to find our way back to God, and it will be in the form, in the form of that one and only knee bowing experience. Okay. And so he says, with the self-discipline and insight gained from practicing step 10, I shared with y'all that when I came into recovery, one of my first tangible inventory was my journal that I kept. Right. It was entitled From Crack to Christ. Right. But at that point, it was just a journal that I kept off and on for the first 4 years as directed by my sponsor. But I lied in meetings, I lied in therapy, I lied with my counselors. I even lied to you. I even lied to myself. And my sponsor said, Edwina, when are you going to start being true to yourself, telling yourself the truth? And so it was suggested that I keep a journal. And that's how I began to be honest with myself and the God who I was learning about, but didn't know completely, right? And in the beginning, it was titled Dear Higher Power, but eventually it was Dear God, Thank You, Jesus, okay? And so that was my first experience when taking a continued inventory. And I also, what is wrong with you? Because it's not getting cool in here quick enough for me. Let me open up this door. Hold on. I done got hot up in here. Good morning. I done got hot up in there, and I'm trying to put this air conditioner on, but it ain't working. And so I said to myself, right? I said to myself, man, if I don't turn this air on, y'all gonna see something y'all don't want to see. But to God be all the glory. And so when I talked about doing my 10th step in early recovery, it was through my journal, and as a result, I was able to tell myself the truth about myself and what I was going through. And many of you know I was challenged with some things that could have very well led me back to my addiction, right? I was leaving a husband that was dying of cancer. I was diagnosed with cervical cancer. One of the women sucker punched me twice in a transitional house. And the brother that I turned on the crack tried to commit suicide. That's within 90 days in coming into this spiritual program. But because this God who delivered me after meeting me underneath that parked car said, you are equipped. All you got to do is continue to take suggestions. They told me to pray about it, write about it, go help somebody else, and I'll get through it. Okay. And as a result of doing that, voila, 34 plus years later, here I am. And I still take that continued inventory. And so I have gained, right, insight through self-discipline and practicing step 10. But it also says, I begin to know the gratification of sobriety. Oh my God, the gratification of sobriety. Now, this may sound cuckoo for Cocoa Pops, right? But y'all know I'm transparent and I'm authentic. You know how we had that gratifying feeling when we took that first drink and it going down, and I was like, we took that first hit and we was like, ooh, you know what I mean? So we know what instant gratification feels like, right? But this is of a spiritual one and not of a negative one, okay? So we need to know that we are human beings, and most of us have catered through to the flesh majority of our life until we had that one and only knee-bound experience. And then we realized that the spiritual aspect of our lives has been there all the time, but we didn't realize it and didn't know it until we came to a point that we couldn't do it anymore. We couldn't help ourselves. We couldn't help each other. And we needed to call on the name of Jesus, right? Now, no matter what your faith is, no matter how you got there, no matter what, it says with that knee-bound experience, every mouth, every tongue will confess that he is Lord and Lord all by himself, okay? And so, but I began to know the gratifications of sobriety out, and not as a mere abstinence from alcohol, but as recovery in every department of my life. And see, this is where some people are of the opinion that I just need to stay sober. That's all I need to do. Okay. Well, sobriety is a gift from God, right? Sobriety is a gift from God. And so what is my gift to God for allowing me to have this sober life, right? My gift is to remain sober and to help another alcoholic achieve sobriety, right? And so through the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous, right, along with the spiritual principles, tools, and resources, we want to practice these principles in all our affairs. I want to practice these principles in all of my affairs, just like the gentleman said here, right? But recovery in every department of my life. You know why? Because in areas of our lives, we can be challenged with death and challenged with accidents and challenged with sickness and challenged with this and this and this and this and that. But guess what? It's called life. It's called life. Can we stay sober and maintain emotional sobriety, right? And emotional balance under any and all conditions? Yes, we can. I am proof of it, and so are millions of others who are in this process called recovery. But there's 6.7 billion people on this earth, right? So I know we were chosen. And I know I was chosen, just the mere fact that I'm sitting here sharing with you my experience, my strength, and my hope that I practice these principles in all my affairs. I'm not giving anything or anybody that much power ever, ever, ever again to put me back underneath that parked car or to remove me where my God has placed me. Are you kidding me? I refuse to tell God to kiss my behind. I may tell you, but come back in the 10th step and admit it promptly. I'm sorry. But I need to evaluate why I let you or that take me off my square where I came out of my character. That's the purpose of doing that continued inventory. And when we were wrong, we promptly admitted it because we don't want nothing and nobody to steal our joy, our serenity, our peace, and to knock us off our square. No. Resentments, jealousy, lust, lies, gossip, all that stuff, right? plague our soul. No, no. We want to produce more fruit of the Spirit, right? And that's why I know I've been chosen. Okay. And so he goes on to say, I renew hope, right? Regenerate faith, and regain the dignity of self-respect. Wow. I renew hope. I renew hope, y'all. And guess what? Hope is not new to us. Listen, listen, listen. Hope is not new to us, right? And so let me share with you why. You know how as a child, we hope we would get that bicycle we wanted for Christmas? You know, as a child, we hope that the boy who we liked us, right? Remember, we hoped to get those pair of shoes. So there is nothing new where hope is concerned. Let's take it even further. During our addiction, we hope that the drug dealer would give us real crack and not drywall. We hope that the bartender will give us real alcohol and not watered down alcohol. See, hope is not new to us. You know, I hope that John who I prostituted for and did all that work, I was hoping he would give me my money. Right? Yes. I hope that he would not harm me, right? In one shape, form, or fashion. So hope is not new. It's not new to us. But in this process called spiritual awakenings through spiritual experiences that produces an unlimited amount of spiritual breakthroughs, right? We have renewed hope. We have renewed hope. Yes, we do. Yes. I'm alive today because of my creator, not because of me. I had a praying mother, not even her prayers could help me, right? So I have renewed hope based on learning and applying and practicing these 12 spiritual principles, tools, and resources, okay? And it says here, right? Regenerate faith, right? So faith is not new to us either, right? So y'all can use the same analogy I just used for hope. All right. And here comes the latter, right? Regain the dignity of self-respect. Oh, my. Regain the dignity of self-respect. My last time of getting high, doing crack, I was an alcoholic, a crackhead, and a prostitute. I was filled with STDs. I was getting high and doing all kinds of sexual favors for my own stepson. And I was underneath a parked car. Yes. Dignity? Dogs and cats get under cars. I placed myself underneath a parked car to keep my stepson from hurting me. Did I have any self-dignity then? No, not at all. Not at all. I thought I was the scum of the earth. I thought I was unworthy for love, anything. I thought I was what? Worthless, hopeless, helpless, useless to anything and anybody, including myself. But look what these 12 spiritual principles within a spiritual fellowship has done for me, because my God chose me. He chose me for a reason so that he could use me to give hope to others and help them be set free. Okay? All right. So the next thing he says here, right? I discovered the word and, right? In the phrase, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it, right? Now, let me ask you this question. Okay? Let me ask you this question. All right. How many of you, when you know you're wrong, when you know you are wrong, do you promptly admit it? I didn't. And sometimes I still don't. But I realized that practicing these 12 spiritual principles, I will. The sooner the better, right? But before I came into this fellowship, I did not want to admit that I was wrong. No, 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 no. I told y'all about that situation where I thought somebody was the father of my child and he wasn't. And I had to make that phone call and let him know that I was wrong, right? And so in the 10th step, it says, because it's a present step, right? Continue to take personal inventory. And when we were wrong, right then and there, promptly admit it. That takes a lot of practice. But can you imagine the rewards of not having that situation rent space in our head or have that situation, right? Knock us off our square, allow us to commit an insane act? Yes. I told y'all the other day, right? If I was so gung-ho about being right, somebody presented me a piece of the puzzle that I didn't have. And in some cases, I still wanted to admit I was right, but I was wrong because I was missing that one piece of puzzle, that little bit of information. I was wrong. Am I able to promptly admit it? And that's why with the 10th step, it is designed to continue to take personal inventory. And when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. All right. And so let's go back to the reading, right? And he says here, let's go here, right? He says, right. Reassured that I am no longer always wrong. Reassured that I am no longer always wrong, I learned to accept myself as I am with a new sense of the miracles of sobriety and serenity. Did y'all get that? Did y'all get that? It's basically saying, right? When things are done in the dark, they come out. They come out. In some cases, the awareness and the knowledge of what was done in the dark can be very, 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 very devastating, as I have experienced myself in my own family, right? To the point where it's like, oh, heartbreaking, right? But I thank God that I am in a 12-step spiritual program to help me decipher not what's wrong, but what happened. What happened to my dad that he molested my sister from the time she was 7 till she was 21 and produced a child? What happened to my dad? What happened to my sister who, right, was the victim of that sick relationship? What happened to her? What happened to the child that was born out of that relationship? And so I thank God that my father eventually on his dying bed was able to ask for forgiveness. I learned that he asked for forgiveness from my sister, but never asked for forgiveness from the daughter he produced. And so this is what I mean by, things that are done in the dark that will eventually come to light. I was so glad that I had the courage, the God-given courage in her obituary to let the public know, the family know who her dad really was. They are no longer in the dark now. They don't have to assume this or that, right? They knew who her father really was. Now the challenge becomes, and what, so what, now what? What am I going to do about that information? What's the next right thing? What's the next right spiritual thing to do? Find out what happened. And like I said in the beginning, we want the good in all of us, even the worst of us, to prosper and to grow. And so when we want that for ourselves, we could want it for others, because we know we have done some things, right? That we did in the dark that will eventually come out to the light, right? And so as a result of doing that, We who are in this 12-step spiritual program knows what freedom is like, know what it means to be free of guilt, shame, remorse, of all those things that we did in our recovery, right? We know that we have been set free from recovery. We have emerged empowered. Why? For the purpose of giving hope to others, help others prosper equally. That's why we were chosen. That's why we were chosen. We were chosen out of that dereliction. We was chosen out of that humiliating experience. And guess what it did? It brought about humility for us to ask for help. Help me. Help me. And that's what I mean by having that one and only knee-bowing experience. And so when it says nothing grows in the dark, nothing grows in the dark. But when things are brought to light, when things have been revealed that we've been trying to conceal all of our lives, we prevent ourselves from healing. Do you understand me? We prevent ourselves from healing. There's a world out there that is unlimited because our God, our Creator, is unlimited. And so when I have, right, gone through in order to get through and come through whatever it is that life deals us, right? We will have that one and only knee-bowing experience when we will call out, help me, help me. And we will be set on that spiritual path to receive all the spiritual experiences, awakenings that will produce an unlimited amount of spiritual breakthroughs. The fact that I'm sitting here sharing with you the Alcoholics Anonymous daily reflections, reading this day that will never, ever, ever come again, to let you know we can be set free. From recovery, we can emerge empowered, and we are obligated. It should be our honor and our duty to want to give hope to others, help others prosper equally. See, we didn't come out of that muck and mire to sit on our laurels and to do what? No, hell no. No, we were delivered, prepared, right? Our steps was ordered in order to help set others free by giving them hope that if my God did it for me, and you might not even know him yet, right? To give hope to others, help others prosper equally. Yes, we want the good in all of us, even the worst of us, to flower and to grow. That can only be done once we had that one and only knee-bowing experience. Okay? So remember, today, right? Take your inventory, spot check, midday, at the end of the day. And when you were wrong and when you are wrong, promptly admit it. Get it off. No, why did I say that? I'm so sorry. I won't do that again. So there's several ways to make amends. One amends is to change your behavior. That's what they call an indirect amends. The other amends is to mend your ways. Yes. If I tore down your fence, I need to help you mend that fence. If I cheated with your husband, I need to stop cheating with other people's husband, but I ain't gonna come and tell you because it might cause harm. You see what I mean? So we have direct amends or indirect amends, right? And to God be all the glory, y'all. To God be all the glory. To God be all the glory. Okay, so let me end by saying, I love you. You love me. We are one big family with a great big hug and a kiss from me to you. Won't you say you love me too? Ooh, be blessed. Have a blessed day and be encouraged.